Living alone as an older adult presents a unique set of challenges and opportunities. As someone who has navigated this path, I've come to deeply understand and empathize with the concerns and stories shared by many older adults across different platforms. While living alone can offer an empowering sense of independence and liberation, it also introduces several downsides that require thoughtful consideration and proactive measures. These challenges, if not addressed, can negatively impact both physical and emotional well-being. However, by recognizing these obstacles, older adults can turn potential negatives into opportunities for growth, resilience, and a more fulfilling life. Without further ado, let's explore 7 significant downsides of living alone as an older adult and discover some practical and meaningful ways to overcome them. 1. Isolation and loneliness. A quiet battle. Perhaps the most frequently mentioned downside of living alone as an older adult is the pervasive feeling of isolation and loneliness. As social creatures, we often thrive on daily human interaction, whether it's a casual conversation over a meal or just the comfort of knowing someone is nearby. For older adults, especially those who may have lost a spouse or have children who live far away, the lack of regular social contact can become emotionally taxing. Sarah, a retired teacher, reflects on her first winter alone after her husband passed away. The house was so quiet, it almost hurt. Each day seemed to blend into the next, with nothing but the ticking of the clock to break the silence. I missed the sound of my husband's voice, the little chats we'd have over dinner, and the way we'd laugh while watching our favorite shows. In that silence, Sarah initially found it difficult to maintain a positive outlook. But she didn't stay isolated for long. To combat the loneliness, Sarah took the brave step of joining a local book club. This wasn't just a way to meet new people, but it also gave her a sense of purpose and routine. By engaging with others who shared her love for reading, Sarah found intellectual and emotional stimulation. She also began volunteering at a local community center's after-school program. There, the infectious energy of children reignited her enthusiasm for life. Another significant way Sarah reduced her isolation was by embracing modern technology. With the help of her family, she learned to set up video calls with her children and grandchildren. These regular virtual interactions made a profound difference in her daily life. Even though her family lived miles away, being able to see their faces and hear about their daily experiences made her feel connected. While isolation can feel overwhelming, it's important to remember that simple steps like joining social clubs, engaging in volunteer work, or setting up regular digital communication can significantly reduce feelings of loneliness. Building a structured routine that incorporates social activities, however small, can help maintain a sense of connection and belonging. 2. Safety concerns, when help may not be readily available. Living alone also means that in the event of an emergency, there might not be anyone around to provide immediate assistance. This becomes particularly concerning for older adults who may face health challenges or mobility issues. The fear of falling or having a medical emergency without anyone there to help is not unfounded, and for many, it can create a persistent undercurrent of anxiety. Naomi, an 82-year-old widow, recalls a day that served as a major wake-up call for her. One afternoon, while I was tending to my garden, I tripped over a hose and fell flat on my back. Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, but it took me what felt like an eternity to get back on my feet. The scariest part wasn't the fall itself, but the realization that if I had been seriously injured, there would have been no one to help. After that incident, Naomi made some important changes to her life. She decided to invest in a medical alert system that she wears as a bracelet. This device gives her the peace of mind that in case of another fall or any medical emergency, she can simply press a button and alert emergency services immediately. Additionally, Naomi established a simple yet effective check-in system with her next-door neighbor, who has been a close friend for years. Every morning, Naomi sends a quick text message to let her neighbor know that she's okay. If the neighbor doesn't receive a text, she knows to come by and check on Naomi. This routine has provided both Naomi and her neighbor with peace of mind. 3. Household maintenance, the growing burden. Managing a household becomes progressively more difficult with age. Tasks that were once second nature, like cleaning, gardening, or performing minor repairs, can start to feel overwhelming and physically exhausting. For those living alone, the burden of maintaining a home can weigh heavily. Jane, who always took pride in her spotless home, found herself feeling overwhelmed as age began to limit her physical capacity. "I used to love tending to my garden and keeping my home clean, but as I grew older, it became harder to keep up with the demands. One day, I looked at my overgrown garden and the dishes piling up in the sink, and I just felt so defeated." That moment of feeling overwhelmed led Jane to reassess her living situation. She made the practical decision to downsize to a smaller home that was easier to maintain. By moving into a smaller space, she was able to reduce her physical workload significantly. Additionally, Jane hired a local teenager to help with the garden once a week and enlisted the help of a cleaning service for heavier household chores like vacuuming and scrubbing floors. Jane also created a simple household maintenance schedule. Instead of letting tasks pile up, she began tackling smaller jobs on a regular basis. This helped her avoid the feelings of being overwhelmed, and it allowed her to maintain control over her living space. For older adults, it's important to recognize when help is needed. Downsizing to a smaller home, hiring outside assistance for heavier tasks, or enlisting family members can significantly reduce the burden of household maintenance. Creating a simple, manageable schedule can help prevent the overwhelming feeling that often accompanies a long list of chores. 4. Financial strain, navigating finances. Living alone also means bearing the full weight of financial responsibilities. For older adults, especially those living on a fixed income, managing expenses can be stressful. Rising healthcare costs, utility bills, and daily living expenses often feel overwhelming when there's no one to share the financial burden with. Janet, a 72-year-old retiree, found herself struggling to adjust to her new financial reality after her husband passed away. He always handled the finances, so when he was gone, I had to learn quickly how to manage everything on my own. It was overwhelming at first, but once I started creating a budget and tracking my expenses, I began to feel more in control. Janet took a disciplined approach to managing her money. She created a detailed budget and began tracking every expense to see where her money was going. This helped her identify areas where she could cut costs without sacrificing her quality of life. For example, Janet discovered senior discounts at local stores and restaurants, which helped her save on groceries and dining. She also sought out community resources for financial advice. By attending workshops at her local senior center, Janet learned about government programs and utility assistance options that significantly lowered her monthly bills. With time, Janet began to feel empowered and secure, knowing that she had a firm handle on her finances. Budgeting may seem tedious, but it provides a sense of empowerment and control over one's financial situation. Seniors can take advantage of various resources, including community programs, senior discounts, and government assistance. Working with a financial advisor, even on a limited basis, can also provide guidance and peace of mind. 5. Health and wellness. As we age, maintaining our physical and mental health becomes even more essential yet more challenging, particularly when living alone. Without the presence of another person to share meals with or to encourage daily exercise, it's easy to fall into unhealthy habits. The motivation to eat well, stay active, and engage in activities that keep the mind sharp can decline, which in turn can lead to physical deterioration and mental decline. James, a retired accountant, found himself slipping into unhealthy routines after he began living alone. He shares, "There were days when I just didn't have the energy to cook for one. I'd grab a snack or make something quick, but it wasn't always the healthiest choice. As for exercise, I used to walk regularly with my wife, but after she passed, it became harder to stick to a routine." After a few months of this lifestyle, James noticed he was feeling more lethargic, and he even gained a few extra pounds. Realizing the importance of taking care of his health, James decided to make some changes. First, he joined a local senior exercise class, where he discovered the physical benefits of staying active alongside a supportive group of people his age. The class not only helped him regain his fitness, but also served as a social outlet that gave him camaraderie and motivation. Recognizing that healthy eating was just as important, James signed up for a meal delivery service specifically designed for seniors. The service provided nutritious, well-balanced meals, eliminating the stress of cooking every day. It also introduced James to new healthy foods he hadn't tried before. To add a bit of fun and creativity to his routine, James enrolled in cooking classes at his community center. There, he learned easy-to-make, healthy meals that made cooking for himself a more enjoyable experience. For those living alone, it's important to establish routines that promote both physical and mental well-being. Regular exercise, whether it's walking, yoga, or group fitness, can help maintain strength, mobility, and cardiovascular health. Seniors can also explore meal delivery services that cater to their specific dietary needs, ensuring they have access to nutritious meals without the hassle of daily cooking. Additionally, engaging in intellectually stimulating activities like reading, puzzles, or art can keep the mind sharp and stave off cognitive decline. Social activities that combine mental and physical wellness, such as group fitness classes or hobby groups, are also excellent options for maintaining a sense of community and purpose. 7. Emotional well-being, cultivating positivity. Amidst solitude. Emotional well-being is a critical aspect of living alone, especially for older adults. The absence of companionship can sometimes lead to feelings of loneliness, anxiety, or even depression. The quiet of an empty home can magnify negative emotions, making it harder to stay positive and engaged. However, taking proactive steps to nurture emotional health is key to leading a fulfilling life, even when living solo. Mark's story. Mark, a widower in his early 70s, shared his experience of battling feelings of depression after his wife's passing. There were days when the quiet in the house felt unbearable. I would sit in my chair and just stare out the window, feeling like the days were dragging on. It was easy to let negative thoughts creep in, and there were moments when I felt like I was losing a part of myself. Mark realized he needed to take active steps to reclaim his emotional well-being. He decided to focus on things that brought him joy. One day, while organizing his basement, he rediscovered his old painting supplies. Remembering how much he used to enjoy art, he set up a small studio in his living room and began painting again. Art became a form of therapy for Mark, allowing him to express his emotions creatively while keeping his mind occupied. Beyond rediscovering his passion for painting, Mark also began practicing mindfulness and meditation. Through guided meditation apps, Mark learned techniques to stay grounded and present. These daily mindfulness practices helped him combat feelings of anxiety and depression, providing a sense of calm and clarity. Recognizing that sometimes professional help is necessary, Mark also sought out therapy. Speaking to a therapist helped him process his grief and emotions. Mark found that therapy wasn't a sign of weakness, but rather a source of strength. It gave him tools to better manage his emotions and offered him a new perspective on life.